Hello and welcome back to the KCC channel. I'm Rob and I hope you are having a wonderful day today. Today we're doing something a little bit different for the KCC channel. We're gonna jump into some r/relationships. Before we start, if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. It's completely free and you can always change your mind later. But if you stay, I might just bribe you with cookies. Alright, our first story today comes to us from Random Throwaway 1209. My boyfriend, 19 male, feels like I haven't been present, despite me spending all of my free time with him. Let's jump right in. My 20 female boyfriend, 19 male, and I have been together for 4 months, and I just feel numb at this point. The first months, things were great. It felt like we would spend every minute together outside of coursework, which was fine. He told me early on that his love language was physical touch, so I expected a lot of cute little dates and stuff. After the end of the first month, midterms started to come up for me and I got busy. I wasn't able to hang out after classes on weekdays, but we would still go out on the weekends. Midterms ended and I got another job, part-time, after classes only, done before 6, 4 days a week, would have to stay until 10 on very rare occasions. He wasn't happy about this because he assumed we would spend more time together after midterms, but he didn't say anything. This is about the time that we started fighting. After midterms, I had dinner with my study group that we invited spouses. Boyfriends and girlfriends were also invited too, and we attended. I told my boyfriend Jack that we would be able to spend time together after the dinner, and I made the stupid choice of saying that it would be done at 7. The dinner ended at 9. I paid for us and we left. The entire car ride back to my apartment, Jack was silent. When I asked him what was wrong, he told me that he was upset and felt like he had been misled to believe that we would get time together after the dinner. I told him that we could spend time together now when we got to my apartment, and he said that he wasn't feeling it anymore and went home. Things were tense after that, but they calmed down as the school year progressed. It would be every few days where he would bring up that he felt like we didn't spend any time together, even though I would spend as much time with him as I could before one of us had to leave. Towards the end of the year, we started to make plans for summer. Jack was supposed to go on a trip back home to visit family in the States for the month of June, and I would stay at school and work my summer job as a camp counselor. Jack's entire family got COVID the day before he left, and the entire trip was canceled, but I still had my summer job. He spent a good 2 weeks where he felt like he could never see me because of the job. 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, a weekend shift here and there. Even though I would talk to him constantly throughout the day, and we would spend time together when I was done with work. It got to the point where we had a conversation about how I felt that he resented me for his visit to his family getting canceled, and he felt like I had no time for him. There was a lot of tears on both sides, but it ended with Jack winning the argument and me agreeing to find more time to spend with him. At the end of June, I went on a girls' trip that had been planned since October, before Jack and I started dating, and I knew that Jack didn't want me to go. The first few days were fine. It was a lot of texting about how we missed each other, but on the third night, I fell asleep without telling him goodnight. He didn't like that. I've done it before, countless times even, falling asleep mid-conversation because it's 3 in the morning and I have to get up at 6. Jack doesn't get up until noon unless he has to go to work, or during phone calls and movies, but he's always found it cute or charming. I apologized in the morning, but it went downhill from there. It quickly turned into Jack venting about never having enough time with me and how it felt like he was the only one trying. I spend basically all day going between texting him angrily or while I'm crying, and the entire thing has been frustrating to say the least. By the time I get home, I feel completely numb. It had been a long trip, and I feel both physically and emotionally drained. I still invite Jack over the next day because that's what he wants. We spend all day together watching movies, baking, playing board games. Things finally felt normal and I felt good. It gets to the end of the night. We put on one of my favorite movies and I tell him that I'm absolutely exhausted. He laughs and we cuddle on the couch. I make it through 20 minutes of the movie before I pass out completely. By the time the movie ends, I wake up and Jack is sitting a few feet away from me, looking a mix of livid and hurt. I ask him what was wrong, and he goes on a rant about how rude it was for me to fall asleep, and how he needed me to be present and be there for him. I don't know what to do anymore. That was last night, and we spent all day together, and I felt scared and drained for most of it. I miss my lovely boyfriend. I miss being able to fall asleep mid-movie and wake up to a nice note and being tucked in. I don't know what I did wrong, and I don't know how to fix it. What can I say to Jack to communicate how I feel? How can I feel better? Should I even say something to him to begin with? Is there anything I can do to save the relationship? I really love Jack, and I don't want to lose him. Alright, let's jump down to the comment section on this one. The first comment down below that caught my eye comes from a user called Jerica. It says, "So I got through all that, and honestly now I'm exhausted." And then I said, wait, did she say 4 months? 4 months? OP, what are you doing? Just cut this guy loose already. At best, you're not compatible. At worst, well, it doesn't really matter, because being incompatible is enough. And this is not sustainable for you, bottom line. You don't need to keep doing this. Just break up with him and go live your life. It took me getting down to this comment to realize that this was only a 4-month relationship, and then I realized that they said that right at the beginning of the story, but it must have just slipped my mind, because everything that I was reading in this story was like a couple that has been together for years that are starting to have a little bit of attachment issues. If you're only 4 months in and he's showing that he's this needy and it's not something that you can keep up with, it might be time to move on. Okay, another one from down in the comments below, this from the user Kelfie23. It says, "This is who he really is. He needs your constant attention, and if he doesn't get it, he pouts, which makes you feel guilty, though you've done nothing wrong. Very immature and manipulative. This is how it's going to be. It won't change. It's draining and exhausting. You want to live a normal adult life, you have a job, you have friends, etc., and you should be able to do what you want when you want without the fear of hurting him. It's totally unreasonable and selfish of him to demand all your time. He gets pissy if a dinner went long and you fell asleep during a movie because he takes it personally that you're not giving him what he wants, which is your attention 24/7. Obviously, you know that's not normal. If you stay, I hope you can get some firm boundaries around your time and his attitude. Otherwise, you'll be pretty unhappy catering to an adult child." This is exactly it, OP, because your SO doesn't understand that it's not just about them. They're only concerned about them. They know that you have all these things that you're doing to make your life better and keep you on track, but they want you to spend more time with them. They really don't care about you. They're only concerned with their own wants and needs. Alright, as you've seen from the thumbnail and the title, OP did post an update to this one. It says, "He broke up with me yesterday. My heart hurts so much, I don't know how I can imagine life without him. I regret not giving him what he wanted early on in the relationship. I regret not trying harder for him. I can't stand to look at any pictures of us. I haven't felt the same since. We went to a concert on Saturday, and that's when everything went downhill. I had a panic attack, so I went to the bathroom so I wasn't ruining it for him. Admittedly, that was a terrible idea. He brought it up yesterday, said that I only went to the bathroom when I wanted to avoid him. We went out together and had planned to spend the whole day together. Now, I'll never see him again, and I can't live with that. I want him back so badly. I know our relationship hasn't been the greatest, and realistically, I shouldn't force him to be with me when he no longer loves me, but I'm in so much pain, man." Wow. Okay, let's jump down to the comments on this one. We have one from a user called Capricorn40. It says, "Reading your prior post, I think you will do so much better without this guy. I was mentally exhausted for you reading it. Seriously, you are better off without him." I agree with this user completely. OP, at 20 years old, you're still really, really young. And there's lots of people out there that are much better for you than this guy who wants to manipulate all of your time and make you only pay attention to them. I completely understand that you're having a hard time getting through your feelings right now, with him breaking up with you because it's so new. Give yourself a couple of days because I know you're going to look back at it and realize that this was the best thing that could happen for you. You will find somebody else, they will be better for you, and your life will be a lot less hectic. Alright, for our second relationship struggle today, we have one from Hot Tea is Hot. My boyfriend and his new female baseball buddy. Let's jump right in. My boyfriend and I are in our mid-30s. We've been dating a year. He joined some recreational sports this summer and has been talking about his teammates frequently. Last weekend, I asked to charge my phone on his charger. So I pulled his phone off the charger to put mine in, and I saw a name, Felicia. I can't see what the message said because it needs to be unlocked. I thought it was odd that this girl that he just met from baseball was texting him directly, so I checked his public Instagram on a gut feeling. They are following each other already too, which is totally fine normally, right? Except he didn't follow any of his other new teammates, male or female. I looked through her profile and it explains a lot. After I felt sad, but I did it to myself because I wanted to play FBI agent. So I come to his house and see him this weekend. I get the urge to click on the home button of his iPad and I peek. I can see who messages him and what they say right on the lock screen. It is not hidden. I guess he has not opened his iPad for at least a day because I'm seeing Instagram DMs from Felicia. They were chatting back and forth past midnight. I can only see her responses from the home screen, which she says things like, "Oh, I'm not sure what my favorite song is. What happened with your dad anyway? Is he still around? So why haven't you moved in with your girlfriend yet?" She asked him how much money he makes, and then at approximately 1 a.m. she goes, "Oh my gosh, it's almost 1. Go to sleep, haha, troublemaker." They just met. Keep in mind, we always say goodnight around 10 to 11 p.m. because he gets up at 6 a.m. for work. I messaged him that night around 11 p.m. and he didn't respond, so I assumed he was sleeping. Why would he not be? Is it straight up cheating? No, but I think it's inappropriate. Am I wrong? I just have alarm bells going off because I'm imagining myself married to this dude, maybe a couple babies, and I am at my most vulnerable state mentally and need him the most. And if this situation occurred at that point, I would spiral, I think. Is this something we can work through, or is this a character flaw? Or are we just mismatched? I'm wondering if I'm being paranoid or jealous, and maybe I should work on that. I don't want either of us to make excuses, so I think that's why I want to talk to strangers on the internet. I don't trust my mind and decision making right now. I don't know what the right thing is. OP has added 3 updates onto this post, but we're gonna jump down to the comments first, because there's one down there that sums this up perfectly. It's from the user Ninfa Obsidiana. It says, "One of the things I wish I had done when I was younger was not wait for the man to make the decision. By that I mean not pinning all of my hopes and dreams to the tiniest crumbs of attention and affection. You're picturing marriage and babies, and he is having late night conversations with another woman about her favorite songs. The other woman is the one pivoting to you as a topic, while he ignores your actual texts. Imagine what it would take for you to behave that way toward a boyfriend. If you were the one with a new friend who you chatted with while your boyfriend thought you were asleep, what would that mean for the relationship? You're waiting for him to do or say something definitive so that you can decide if it's okay for him to behave the way he's behaving with this other woman. It doesn't seem like it's okay with you. If that's the case, you don't have to hear him out, or logic your way into being cool with it, or convince him to stop. You can find a partner who has boundaries around your relationship that are similar to your own. Your time, energy, and dignity are worth you investing in yourself. You have alarm bells going off because you are intelligent, and you know that you are worthy of more care and attention than you are receiving. Heed their warnings." I really like what this user came up with in this comment because a lot of people don't do things this way. You should sit back and think, if I was doing this myself, what exactly would that mean? If you can only see nefarious reasons for it, then that's likely what's happening on his end. You have to think about it this way. He was messaging this person, but wasn't messaging you back, and you are in a relationship. He was basically lying to you that he was sleeping. I just don't think this guy is as invested in your relationship as you are, and that means it's probably time to get out of it. On to the first update from OP. It says, "Update. I am absolutely overwhelmed with all of the thoughtful responses. You all read my story and took time out of your day to help a stranger. Thank you. I've read them all. I talked to him in the morning about it and how I feel it's disrespectful, and that I need him to know when to draw boundaries with new single women to protect our relationship. He said he wanted time to think about everything because he isn't great at tough discussions. He can't get his thoughts and feelings out properly. I know that about him. Now we wait. I told him to reach out when he has something to say. It's been 7 hours since I left his house." Okay, so at this point, I feel like he's sitting back there right now, texting this other woman and trying to feel out whether there's something there. And if she doesn't give him the responses that he wants, he's gonna come back to you and say, "Yeah, no problem, I won't do that anymore. You're the only one for me." But I could just be speculating here. Okay, let's move on to update number 2. It says, "We smooth things over a couple days later. 2 weeks after that, he starts a fight over something that could have easily been resolved. I was too quiet during a gathering with his friends, and he told me after that he didn't like the unfriendly impression that gave them. I apologized profusely for having a bad day and offered to pay for the food and drinks he bought us. And then he broke up with me. It felt out of pocket, so I think he was using this minor issue to blow up and give himself a reason to break up with me. He had never yelled at me like that before or been so cruel. It turned into lots of gaslighting towards me about situations that were either partially or completely fabricated. It was bizarre, frankly. I had never seen this version of him, a monster. I did not feel safe at the end just before I walked out the door. He was in my face with crazy eyes. I knew I'd never see him again after that. I gave him a couple reasons why I thought this was for the best, and walked out. I don't know for sure what the real reason behind him going postal on me and breaking up with me was. Felicia? Someone else? Life? Me? But it doesn't really matter now, I suppose. I'm gonna focus on healing myself the rest of this summer. Thank you all for your thoughtful responses." I keep on going back to the fact that this person was texting another woman while knowingly ignoring you when you were sending them messages. They were already looking for other options a long time ago, and now they just had a reason to blow up and end it. They were probably looking for one for the last few weeks. Alright, last update from OP. It says, "Update 3, it's been 2 weeks since he told me to get out of his life. Honestly, I feel relieved. The first week was awful. Every day was agony, even though I knew he wasn't good for me. This week was better, and yesterday was the first day I could say I felt great. I have a new routine to replace when I would have been with him. Able to hit the gym even more, taking myself to dates, and catching up with my best friends in the world. They have busy lives with their own families, but made time for me while I'm in need. So grateful. OP, it's wonderful to have a friend group that you can rely on when you're going through crap like this. I'm truly glad to hear that you're out and dating again, and I'm sure you're gonna find somebody who has the same boundaries that you have and respects you for who you are. I think we're going to end this one here, but I'd like to hear from you guys in the comments down below. What do you think of r/relationships on KCC? We've actually done this subreddit about 3 times before, but it was only twice in 2021 and once in 2019. If you'd like to hear more from this particular subreddit, let me know in the comment section down below. Check out both OPs linked in the description down below. I thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow.